more of that.
Uh, yeah. Go ahead and lay it down for me here.
Okay. I'm getting ahead of it.
Cool. Nice.
Something like that.
Yeah. So I'm trying to let's see. Like what I noticed that you were doing is you would just like land right on the different note in the chord. I kind of like would slide into it.
And that's fine too. And
Okay.
the first time through, I really accentuated. I just hung on like last week we talked about that there's only one note different.
Yes.
So the first time through, I just kind of hung out on this and went right to that note. So I was kind of hanging out on the different note.
Right.
And then I tried to add some other stuff. Okay, so then one of the next steps will be to move to different strings. You know, so we've got, say, if we're on, instead of the first, second, and third strings,
Right.
we might want to be on the second, third, and fourth strings.
Right. Um, yeah, so if you were to like boil it down to like somewhat of a formula, would you? I mean, it seems like sometimes you're landing on the root or the note that's different in that chord that you're now on.
Yeah, that's what I
Great.
was in this case. That's what I was trying to accentuate
That's interesting.
is
Yeah.
chord tones, or the variant note, which is also a chord tone. So,
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're all, it's all chords, I guess. Yeah.
right. Yeah, so of course you wouldn't always. I was kind of starting with, in this case, when I switched to the different strings,
Yep.
I was starting on the root each time.
I did notice that. Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah,
I like to do with the G because I can just
yeah.
immediately see the F shape.
And then I went to the C, which actually was moving to one. I was actually shifting too far with the strings. I was doing 5, 4, and 3 instead of 4, 3, and 2.
Okay.
But you want to move around on different string sets.
Right.
And then, of course, you can do it on the 6, 5, and 4, or do 4 strings, you know.
Right. Right.
But I wouldn't really, at first, I would try to keep it to 3 strings.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. It's been good to break it into pieces like this. So.
And then, of course, you'll do it in a different place on the neck.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So now, like right here, I'm basing it on this, which is now a D shape. Well, it is a D shape, but now a G chord. And here's
Right.
my C chord,
Right.
and here's my D chord. So you could do the, and then for my C, And then, you know, depending on which D you're using. So,
Okay, so that right there is exactly I think the beginning of what I really want to get into. Like you watch like Jimi Hendrix just on like an acoustic, and he's doing lead and chords. So like,
right.
can you show me a little bit of that? You were just doing the lead, but can you like kind of tweak some chords in
Sure,
there?
sure.
Show me
So
that.
at first we were doing this chord.
Right. You got
We
to
were
hit the
doing
whole
this
chord.
chord
Right.
and this chord, right?
Yeah. Right. Down.
Now what I'm doing here is the same shapes. It's just that they function differently. Now this is the G.
Sure.
Here's my C. And here's my D.
Sure. Okay.
I
Okay.
did this D. You could go up, but I did this D.
Right.
And then back to this C. So I'm doing some of the same patterns that I did down here.
Right.
So now for my G chord, which I'm using this chord shape, or you could think of it as this shape too,
Sure.
if I had 4 strings.
Right. Or five.
So there's, I just did that lick for my G chord. So there, it's essentially I just did an arpeggio, but
Right.
I put one note in between. So here's my arpeggio,
Right.
but I put one note,
Oh, that's a good lick.
right.
You can do that on any D-shaped chord.
Yep,
Oh, that's a good, really good go too.
yeah. And then I took it up to here too.
Right. Can you hammer? You can hammer this onto the root.
You could. This would be a non-chord tone, or it's out of the scale, but who
That's
cares?
kind of cool.
Sure, sure, you could slide to it, or yeah, absolutely. Then I went to this C.
Right. Okay, so there you're doing the hammer on from. Is it the same note? Is it the fifth note in the chord? Is it the
This
fourth?
would actually be the, if we're in the C chord,
Right. And to
I'm
hammer.
hammering from 2 up to 3.
Right.
And there's my 5th, 6th, and here's the root of the C chord. So that's my root. And I'm in this shape, the F shape.
Right.
Yeah.
But just to clarify, you're hammering on the B string up to the 10th fret, or no?
I wasn't then, but you certainly could.
That sounds cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was earlier. I was doing when I was down here. I was doing that where I'm hammering from on the
Right.
second string 8 to 10, and
Right.
then playing the 8th fret of the first string.
So yeah, cool way to play C though is you could start at the root, slide up to there.
Actually, that's not where are you doing? Where is that?
That's the root, right, of the C chord.
Yeah, yeah.
So like you could go do that hammer.
Okay, so that's out of position from what we were doing though.
It's out of position, so instead.
Because I was keeping it in this range. Yeah, I was keeping it in this scale shape.
Right.
Now it doesn't mean that you have to.
No, I see. But another way you could still do it though if you do
Absolutely, you could. Yeah,
right there.
right.
Dang. Oh, dude, this is awesome. I've never played it.
Okay, now then I went down to this my
Right.
D chord, which is this A shape, So what I did there was I cheated, of course. I did a chromatic thing.
Right.
Whoops. We'll go G. Anyway, so
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think you have the right idea.
Yeah, that's no, that's really helpful for sure.
So then next you'll go up the neck even into the next place. This being my G chord,
Right. Yeah, all these
my
inversions. Yeah.
C chord, right, and D right here,
So
right,
yeah, it seems like are you doing that just to like keep your hand in the same position,
right.
basically? Yeah, just to use
To keep
all.
it in the same position, and it's, do you know the term voice leading? It's good voice leading.
Not
So
really. I feel like I've heard it though. Yeah.
I don't know if you ever sang choir or anything
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
but you know, when you have three-part harmony, basically this part kind of moves along the same line. It might go up or down a couple of notes here or there, but it's never or almost never going to jump more than like uh, two notes, or it's not going to jump up a fourth or a fifth usually.
Right. That's the
This
leading
one
one.
is, yeah, this one also is going to stay in the same line,
Okay.
and this is also going to stay in the same line. So they're all kind of going along this way.
Right.
So all of the when you
Just
go from
moving a little
chord
bit.
to chord,
Yeah.
the the motion is really smooth. It's not really erratic.
Right. Right.
And so that makes for what they call good voice leading. So the harmonies are really tight. They work well together.
Right.
Now, as an effect, you can have big leaps, you
Right.
know.
Right.
It's
Right.
going to be really contrasty and really jagged sounding.
Sure. Sure.
So when you stay in the same position,
Right.
say like for example, if I had three people that were going to sing, say they were going to sing like something like uh go baby go, go baby go, go baby go, go baby go. So one person might sing
Right.
go baby go, go baby go,
Same note twice. Yeah.
go baby go, go baby go.
Right.
And
Right.
this one's gonna go go baby go. I can't sing that high.
So take it down.
So they're only moving one note really.
Right.
I could
So,
sing that if I was warmed up, but or if I hadn't been talking all day long.
yeah.
But you get the idea is there's
Totally.
very little motion.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting.
So they're all just singing two notes.
Right. And so,
So
yeah. Now, like, where would
so
the melody be in that? This is kind of a weird question, but is there a melody line in that vocal?
in what I was just singing,
Yeah, and something like that, what you were just
well,
describing, where they're following lines.
there's it's not much of a melody line.
Yeah, right. Every part is kind of boring on its own.
Yeah.
Weird.
So
Yeah.
this melody was basically the whole chord doing the melody,
Right.
but you know, if there is a melody line, you know, say that's the melody, then you know, someone might go. I'd have to work that out,
Yeah. No,
but
yeah.
yeah, but so one reason why you would keep them in one area is for efficiency of motion, but it's also lends well to good voice leading from
Right.
one chord to the next.
Right.
So a lot of times you hear guitar players doing solos, and the band is playing, and they're just like playing,
Absolutely. Yeah. And that,
and the chords around them are changing.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Sometimes I'll hear a guitar part in a song. It's like maybe like a country kind of song, Actually, that version of that Mo song kind of does this, and it's just like the guitar is just like
Yeah,
it's just a little thing, and I just think that sounds so good. Why does that one
right.
note sound so good? That's why.
Just well placed notes, and they're paying attention to what note they're on in the chord, and they might
Right.
move one space, and it makes just such a great difference.
Well, that's why I love this thing when I kind of jam on stuff. I just love doing, just like something like that. And those are two totally different chords.
Right, right, exactly.
I mean, they go with two different chords.
Yeah, well, that's
Uh,
exactly it. So we're
yeah,
about out of time, but what
yeah.
Christmas song were you?
Oh, I want to just get your feedback. This will be quick. Is Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, just kind of like guitar jazzy version almost.
Yeah.
A shining star upon the highest bough. I think. Wait.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a C major 7. I gotta ask you that. Is this why I got you? What's a C major 7? It doesn't sound
So
right.
major 7, you add a note that's a half step lower than the octave. So pick up your first finger.
Right there. Right.
Yeah.
Once again, and then C minor 6 7, C minor 6, something like this. Basically.
That triad will work.
Okay. So yeah. So once again, as in olden days. There's some funky chords in here I'll have to work out, but
So
yeah.
I'll send you something. I've got a few different arrangements of that.
Right.
One would be we could do
Yeah. Oh.
um,
Oh. That was cool. That's good.
um, we'll go we'll go
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
let's see, we'll go
Oh.
I'll send you something.
That is
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, just if
Yeah.
you could just loop that, and I'll just watch it over and over, like I did with the Rob Fort, dude. Even what you just did there.
And then we'll go. Let's see, we'll go. Yeah, I've got a few arrangements of that.
Dude, yeah, I could see the gears
We could
turning.
also
there.
do
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a great one for the electric.
right,
Show off my new bending skills. I didn't have this time last year.
right.
Yeah. So these are songs I've learned, but just within this position. So everything here is gold. That's awesome.
Okay, we'll
All right.
talk about some of
All
that
right.
next week.
Work on Christmas next week. Thanks, dude.
Sounds good. All right,
Okay.
see ya.
See ya.